Hello everyone, welcome back to another video on the JRS Cars YouTube channel. In today's video, I have a car that over 20 years in our country has stood for class, elegance, build quality, comfort, performance and value for money. Yes friends, I am talking about the Skoda Octavia, and in today's video I have the car in its latest generation, the Mark IV Skoda Octavia. In today's video, I am going to show you all about the car, the exterior interior styling highlights, take it for a drive and tell you at the end of the day, is this all new Mark IV Skoda Octavia really worth 35 lakhs of your hard earned money? Let's find out in this video and let's begin straight away. A massive thank you to Gurudev Motors Chennai for giving me this all-new Octavia for review. Gurudev Motors is one of the oldest and most established Skoda dealerships here in Chennai, and if you plan to buy a new Skoda, be it the Rapid, the Kushaq, Octavia or even the new Superb, do check the note. The contact details will be in the description below. Straight away starting with styling, from the front this car does look like a typical Skoda. We have the typical butterfly grille over here, the all new Skoda logo and these pair of slender LED headlights. These are of course the all new crystalline lights, and compared to the Mark III version you get a single unit over here, but the DRL splits it into two lights. Looks really nice. We have this element over here which kind of joins it, makes it look different, makes it look nice. We have of course your fog lights over here, parking sensors of course, and moving to the side of the vehicle we have these all new Pulsar design alloy wheels. These are 17-inch wheels, looks really very sporty and aggressive, kind of contrasting the elegant look of the car, but in my mind this looks quite nice. We have the L&K badge over here because this is a top spec Lauren and Clement version of the Octavia. Moving to side profile, the car looks really very elegant, sporty. We have a coupe-like roofline over here, we have a contrasting black color shark fin antenna, we have a very strong body line running across the vehicle, gives the vehicle a look of class and makes it look like a typical Skoda. Really guys, from the front and side, this Mark IV Octavia looks really very impressive. Moving to rear styling, as you guys can see we have an inbuilt kind of spoiler over here, a little dip spoiler, looks quite nice. We have Skoda written in full, Octavia badging, and the rear of the car will remind you of more expensive VAG cars, basically the Audi A4. We have the dynamic swipe indicators over here, looks really cool, and the brake lights over here are designed really very well and have a really high attention to detail. Looks very posh and premium and gives this car a look of class. Let's now talk about the all important boot space of the new Octavia. As you guys can see, we have an electric tailgate, goes up by itself to reveal a massive 600 liters of space. Yes, the boot capacity of the new Octavia is 600 liters, which is more than any SUV you can find in the market, like the Creta, the Seltos, other mini SUVs. This vehicle is much more practical in terms of boot space. Under the boot floor, we do have a space saver spare wheel, as you guys can see. And yes, this electric tailgate is really cool and nice to use. With that done, let's now check out the all-important interior of the new Octavia. Before we go inside, let's now check out the engine bay of the all-new Octavia. There we have it guys, the mighty heart of the new Octavia, a 2-liter turbo 4-cylinder engine producing 190 bhp and 320 Nm of peak torque. This vehicle is really quite powerful. You get sound insulation, you get hydraulic struts. As you guys can see, the vehicle idles quite smoothly, and even if you give it a rev, it sounds really subdued and quite refined, I would say. And overall, the engine bay packaging over here is quite good in the new Octavia. As you guys know, the driving experience of the Skoda Octavia is as important as the rear seat experience. Let's now check out the rear seat space of the Octavia. Starting with the rear door pad, we have this manual sun blind over here. Works quite well, blocks out the sun really nicely. We have this again dual tone finish over here. Looks really posh and premium, and yes, the build quality over here is really good. Let's now check out the rear seat space starting now. Before that, wait. Yep, the typical thud from a Skoda car. Alright guys, so talking about the rear seat experience over here, yes, the seat is really very comfortable. You sit a bit low over here. However, you have plenty of legroom and knee room. Headroom too is quite decent. I am 6 foot tall. Under the support too is quite decent as well. You have a center armrest as well. 1 second, yeah. So you have a center armrest over here with 2 cup holders, as you guys can see. Really, the back seat experience over here is really comfortable. You have a good view in the front as well, good view outside. Rear AC vents you have, as well as 2 USB-Cs over here. So you have lights over here, again the same touch control lights. Looks really posh and premium. You can really play with these lights, make it look like a theater inside over here. You also have a scooped out seat back with a magazine holder. And yeah, I mean overall it's quite a nice place to be. And buyers of the Octavia who are going to sit here on the weekdays and drive on the weekends are really going to find the experience over here quite good. With that done, let's now move to the driver's seat experience of this car. But before that, let's talk about the door pad. The door pad over here is designed quite nicely. We have this black finish over here with this suede like beige leather over here. Looks really posh and premium. This design over here looks really premium and gives this car really a classy interior. We of course have your window controls, mirror controls over here, as well as a door pocket which can hold a bottle. Let's now jump inside, but before that, this vehicle, as you guys can see, has all electric seats with lumbar support as well and memory seats. Let's now jump inside. Let's start the car for a second. Alright guys, so let's talk about the dashboard design over here. You get this multi-layered dashboard over here. You have soft touch materials over here, this suede finish over here, this piano black trim over here, as well as lower plastic material. Looks quite nice. We have a soft touch glove box, as you can see, with this swell finish over here. It's a cool glove box with a light, as you guys can see. We have this beautiful ambient lighting over here. We'll talk more about it in a bit. Overall, the driving seat experience over here is quite nice. We have the all new 2-spoke steering wheel. Feels good, feels nice to hold. And the center of attraction over here is of course the 10.25 inch screen as well as the virtual cockpit display. Alright guys, so let's talk about the center control stack over here. Like I mentioned, you have this massive 10.25 inch screen. This is, as you guys can see, a touchscreen system. Very responsive, easy to use, feels a bit like an Android phone if you ask me. Has a lot of functionality built in. Yes, even the climate controls over here are built into the screen. Yes, physical buttons would have been nice, but this is a modern technology, we need to get used to it. We have the on-off button over here. We have a slider control for the volume. Continuing down, we have these AC vents over here. Placed quite low, but do cool the cabin quite well. We have a few physical buttons over here for the park assist system, your climate controls button, your rear defogger, etc. Moving down, we have a wireless charger for your phone as well as 2 USB-Cs. We have the all-new shift-by-wire gear lever over here. Yes, this is basically an electronic control for the gear lever, and as you guys can see, we are now in reverse. You do get a reverse parking camera with adaptive guidelines, as you guys can see. Resolution is quite good, really gives your car a very good look around. You also have the park assist feature over here, which will help the vehicle park itself. If time permits, I'll show you that. Continuing down, we have this automatic parking brake over here, which is a modern style over here, or a lever. The button for the start-stop system, 2 cup holders, and this center storage as well. We also have, of course, an auto-dimming rear mirror. No car will be complete without that. We have something really cool over here. We have these touch control buttons for the lights. Feels really posh and premium to use. Of course, we have a sunglass holder as well. And overall, this look of a black top dashboard, a black roof and beige seats really give the car a sporty look, as well as it feels quite nice to sit over here. We have, of course, the virtual cockpit over here. As you guys can see, we have the temperature gauge over here, your fuel gauge over there. You can use the button on the steering wheel to show you different menus. You can cycle through different options, as you guys can see, using the knurled finish over here. This is of course your audio controls. The horn of the vehicle sounds like this. Proper Skoda horn for the Skoda Octavia. And yeah, I mean, overall it's a very great place to be. You can sit here for long hours very comfortably. The seat hugs you in really well. If you're an enthusiastic driver, you're really going to enjoy sitting over here. You have a good view of what's in front of you. And yeah, overall it's a very great place to be. We of course have your visor over here with a mirror, as you guys can see, and a light, and you get that on both sides as well, a mirror with a light. Overall, everything feels high quality, well put together. Let's now go for a quick driving experience to see how the Skoda Octavia really drives on the road. Alright guys, so finally driving the all new Skoda Octavia. You guys don't know how excited I am to finally drive this car. Like I mentioned in the beginning, the Octavia must fill many shoes, but most importantly, it must be a fun to drive car on the weekends as well as be a comfortable car to be driven in on the weekdays. Can the Skoda Octavia live up to its name? Let's find out right now, and in typical fashion, let's start first with the city driving experience. Straight away, let's start with the steering. Now the steering on this car, like I mentioned, feels really very nice to hold. Yes, this is the same steering which you get on the Skoda Kushaq, and on both the cars it feels really nice to hold, and this leather wrap steering really gives the car a premium feel. Talking about steering feel and feedback, at city speeds, yes, you know exactly what the front wheels are doing, and one really nice thing about this car is within driving it for a few minutes, the entire car wraps around you, and even though dimensionally it is a big car, while driving this car it feels like a size smaller, and that makes it really good to drive in city traffic. Talking about visibility, you have a good view of the front, mirrors give good coverage what's behind you, and I've already showed you have a really good reverse parking camera as well as the auto park feature, which I'll show you at the end. Moving on to seat comfort, the seats are extremely comfortable, hold you in really very well, offer a plethora of adjustment, so finding a comfortable driving position is really very easy, and you also get electric adjustment for everything, including lumbar support, so your back on long drives will be really comfortable. The rear seats too are really very comfortable, and sitting there for long hours will not be any issue. Let's now talk about how this car handles on city roads. Starting with the ride comfort. Despite this car running on 17-inch wheels, this car really rides very well. It smoothens out bumps perfectly, and very little of the harsh road surfaces filter through to the cabin. I did this test with 4 adults in the car, and despite this car has enough ground clearance to take speed breakers like this really easily, and you don't have the need to take it diagonally or take it very slowly for fear of scraping the car. The car has enough ground clearance and at the same time rides really very well. Talk about the handling, like I mentioned, the car wraps around you and you really feel like you're driving a small car despite this car's real dimensions. Finally, let's talk about the heart of the beast, the cherry on top of the cake, the beautiful 2.0 TSI and this DQ381 gearbox. The older Octavia, the previous generation, had the 1.8 TSI and the DQ200 gearbox. While both are 7-speed DSG gearboxes, the DQ200 can feel a bit jerky, whereas this new DQ381 is absolutely perfect. I mean, it senses what gear you want, gets the gear immediately with no jerks, no delay. This is really a butter smooth gearbox, and combined with the 2.0 TSI, city driving experience in this car is absolutely amazing. It's really relaxing. You don't hear the engine at all, it's purring away very quietly in the background, and overall this is really a very quiet, comfortable cabin when you want it to be. However, the 2.0 TSI does have a second side, a dark side, and to find out that, let's go to the highway right now. Alright guys, so pushing this 2.0 TSI on the highway. When you step on it, the gearbox downshifts by 1 or 2 gears, puts you in the power band, and this car rockets off the line. 190 bhp, 320 Nm of peak torque from a 2-liter turbo petrol engine is what you get in this car, and man oh man, this car really performs really very well. The steering, which felt very light at city speeds, weighs up really well to give good confidence to push this car hard and fast. The car handles really well, lane changes are done easily, and this car really puts a smile on your face when you drive it on the highway. The engine is so refined, I actually feel this engine is too refined to give a really sporty driving experience because the engine sound is a bit muffled, but that's because of emission regulations and everything else. Other than that, this car really performs so well, and I'm actually speechless. I don't know what to say because the driving experience is so good. Think about it guys, my tuned Skoda Laura diesel produces 320 Nm of torque, whereas this stock petrol car produces the same amount of torque with 190 bhp. 0 to 100 is displaced in approximately around 8 seconds, which makes this car really very quick. And at the same time, despite traction control being on, full throttle accelerations will give you wheel spin. That's the amount of performance and that's the amount of torque this vehicle produces. So overall, be it the city or the highway, this Octavia performs really very well. Talking about this car's comfort on the highway, at cruising speeds, the car cruises really very well. The engine is taking over in 7th gear at around below 2000 RPM at 100, cruising really very well. And all you got to do is push the lever to sports mode, use the paddle shifters, downshift a few gears and fly. The car really transforms from a luxury express to a rapid sports car at the flick of a switch, and that's something I really love about the new Octavia. Talking about high speed stability and handling, it's really very good. The car feels stable, feels planted, lane changes at high speed do inspire confidence, and you really feel like you're driving a well-built, well-put-together machine with this new Octavia. Yes, the suspension is a bit soft, and of course on the expansion joints you can feel a bit of up and down motion, but that of course is a compromise you have to do for the ride comfort of the car. This car has a stiffer chassis when you compare it to the older Octavia. However, to compensate that, they've actually softened the spring rate to give it a more plush ride comfort, and I feel that's a good trade-off because 80% of the time this car will be used only in the city, and I feel that's a good move by Skoda to improve this car's low-speed ride comfort as well. So guys, to answer the question, is the new Mark IV Octavia really worth 35 lakhs of your hard-earned money? Well, look at it like this. The Octavia is available in two variants, the Style and the L&K, priced at 31 lakhs and 35 lakhs respectively. And if you look at the competition like the Corolla Altis and the Elantra, these cars are much cheaper, but at the same time don't offer the performance, quality, features what you would expect from a car in this segment. So really the only real vehicle in this segment is the Octavia itself, and that means it does not have any competition. The old competition like the Civic and the Cruise are long gone from our market, so this car really has a monopoly of the segment. Yes, 35 lakhs is a lot of money to pay for a Skoda Octavia. However, if you look at it from this perspective, a brand new Audi A4, which basically has the exact same engine and gearbox transmission, of course Audi brand name, and of course more Audi details here and there, that car costs over 65 lakhs brand new for basically what is essentially a Skoda Octavia with an Audi badge. So when you look at it like that, the Octavia for 35 lakhs is a real bargain. And that's why I feel this car is really worth what Skoda is asking for it. If you want a bigger car, yes, the Superb is always there, it's more luxurious and more inclined towards a chauffeur-driven person. The Octavia is for the person who really enjoys driving, and this car does not disappoint. One more point I must talk about is the fact that this car does not have a sunroof. While yes, a sunroof is definitely a nice feature to have and a lot of people expect it in a car of this segment, do note that it is not only for the Indian market that the sunroof is not available. Even abroad, for the regular sedan version of the Octavia, sunroofs are not available and is available only on the station wagon version of the Octavia or the combi version of the Octavia. This I think is because of the roof design or to keep weight low or whatever the reason may be. To me personally, it's not a big deal that this car does not have a sunroof, because apart from it being a novelty feature, how often will you actually use a sunroof? To me, in India, a sunroof is pointless, and I really feel that it's good that Skoda did not give this car a sunroof and rather pass on that discount to the customer. Alright guys, let's now check out the park assist feature in the Skoda Octavia. We press this button over here, park assist. It asks us whether we want to park parallelly or into a spot. We select into a spot, and then let's begin. Put the vehicle in drive. Please indicate, so it's asking us to indicate, so we put the indicator over here.
Yeah, it's recording.
Engage reverse, okay. This is really unnerving, guys. Okay.
So show your hands.
Automatic, yeah. Then what happened? Really scary experience, guys. And so guys, that's my review on the Skoda Octavia. A car that is definitely built to take on the segment and be the best at it. Does this car have what it takes to revive the D segment of vehicle? I think yes. After this review and a thorough driving experience, I feel the Skoda Octavia has what it takes to revive the segment and be the best at it. With that guys, a massive thank you to Gurudev Skoda for giving me this Skoda Octavia for review. If you plan to buy any Skoda, the Octavia, the Rapid, the Superb, or even the all-new Kushaq, do check them out. The links will be in the description below. Thanks so much for watching guys. I'll see you next video really soon. Take care, bye-bye, drive safe.